Unit 731, Japan's human experimentation hell. While Nazi atrocities like Auschwitz are well known, far fewer people are aware of Unit 731, a secret Japanese military unit during World War II that conducted some of the most brutal human experiments in history. Based in Harbin, Manchuria, and led by General Shiro Ishii, Unit 731 disguised itself as a disease prevention and water purification unit. But what happened inside was a nightmare far beyond imagination. The victims. Tens of thousands of Chinese civilians, Korean prisoners, Mongolians, and even Allied POWs, including Russians and a few Americans, were imprisoned in Unit 731's compound. They were referred to not as people but as logs, maruta, because the scientists thought of them as material for experimentation. The experiments. What took place in Unit 731 defies humanity. Vivisection, lip dissection. Victims were cut open alive without anesthesia. Organs were removed to study how long people could survive without them. Pregnant women were dissected to examine fetuses at various stages. Frostbite testing. Prisoners were taken outside in freezing temperatures and had limbs dipped in water, then left to freeze solid. The scientists would then beat the frozen limbs with sticks, observing how the body responded to extreme cold. Sometimes the limb was boiled while still attached to see how frostbitten tissue reacted. Biological warfare tests. Victims were injected with anthrax, cholera, plague, and typhus to monitor how diseases spread and killed. Fleas infected with bubonic plague were dropped from planes over Chinese villages to test epidemic potential. Entire villages were wiped out as test subjects for these deadly pathogens. Weapon testing. People were tied to stakes and blown up with grenades, flamethrowers, or chemical weapons to test battlefield effects. Others were used to test the impact of bullets, knives, bayonets, stabbed or shot repeatedly. Cover-up and immunity. When Japan surrendered in 1945, Unit 731 tried to destroy all evidence. Victims were murdered, the facility was demolished, and data was hidden. But the US military learned of their research, and in exchange for the experimental data, granted full immunity to the doctors, including Shiro Ishii. None of the Unit 731 scientists were ever prosecuted for war crimes. Many went on to hold senior positions in Japanese government, universities, and pharmaceutical companies after the war. The legacy. It is estimated that up to 300,000 people died as a direct or indirect result of Unit 731's activities. Survivors and relatives of victims lived with permanent trauma, and in many cases were silenced for decades. Even today, Japan has never formally apologized for Unit 731, and many school textbooks in Japan omit it entirely.